So,
cool, thank you.
Is it okay to start?
Yeah, sure, whatever.
You guys are from San Jose?
Sort of.
Sort of?
Well, originally, yes. I mean, I haven't lived in San Jose.
And moved to...
I just kind of bounced around. Now I live kind of halfway between San Jose and Los Angeles. It's a little college town called San Luis Obispo, a very small town.
Well, I went to high school in San Jose. So
Where'd you go to high school?
Westmont High School.
Oh shit, okay.
Yeah, I was living in Saratoga area. I went to Westmont High School.
You lived in a nice part of town, alright. I lived like it.
I was living with an American family as in
exchange student? Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I lived down by like Blossom Hill and Almaden.
Oh,
that's crazy.
Oh, wow. So yeah, I was when I was the age of 15, that was 1992.
Okay.
So we were in the same area.
Yeah, I was gonna say because I graduated high school in '93, so yeah, right about the same time. Crazy.
So,
how do you like San Jose?
Well, I lived in Florida too,
oh, okay.
And I liked it better, so much better in San Jose.
You liked it better? You liked San Jose better?
Better than Florida. I've lived in Tallahassee for 3 years. I hated that place.
Yeah.
And I'm going to talk about that with Campbell, right?
Yeah, there's something about Florida, I just can't get into it. Like, I love the beaches and the water and stuff, but like, I don't know.
Yeah, and I've been to New York for a couple of months, but...
I know you guys played out there a couple times.
Yeah, San Jose was the best place.
Alright, hometown pride.
So this is the third time for you guys to play in Japan?
Right, yeah, we were here like I think 04 last time, so it's been a long time.
Okay. So how is your impression by Japan? Audience?
I always like coming to Japan. I think it's like, it's cool because it's really, to an American, it's very exotic and interesting, but at the same time it's like really modern and westernized, so it's easy to like come here. And plus being from the Bay Area, like there's a lot of Asian people there anyway, so it's not like a big shock, but it is, like I said, it definitely feels sort of exotic and interesting or whatever. I mean, especially it's like we go to Europe all the time, like non-stop, and it's like, oh my god, fucking Paris again, my god damn it. I mean, which is the coolest complaint to have, you know what I mean? Like, I'm very lucky to be able to be like that, but, you know, it's still like really special for us to come out, and every time that we come out, the people have been like really, just really fucking nice. I mean, and we've just had a really good time, like, every time we come out here.
People are very polite.
Yeah.
I feel the same way about Japanese people.
Yeah.
Very polite. Yeah, it's a good thing.
The cool thing is that they seem like, you know, they enjoy having, you know, people come to their restaurant or whatever. Like, they think it's kind of funny that we're American. Like today, you know, we were eating lunch and a couple of the guys are really struggling with chopsticks, and the lady comes over with a spoon and, you know, is like just teasing us and laughing with us.
Really?
Yeah, so it was like, it's very friendly environment, you know, it's really nice, so.
So, well, what about the audience? What do you feel about the Japanese fans?
It's always been really cool. The weird thing is that sometimes, like, when people like bring you presents and stuff, it's like really strange. It's kind of like
never really happened to our bands.
I guess if you're a Japanese band, people don't. I mean, you know, and it's not like tons of people, but sometimes people like brought us gifts and stuff, which I thought was weird. It's really nice, but it's just to me, it's like, well, you're already coming to the show and buying a shirt. You don't have to like buy me a bottle of sake too, but I'll take it, you know. So it's pretty cool. No, the people here are cool. One of the things I like is that it seems like the fans over here get very in-depth. You know what I mean? If you like a band, you don't just like, oh yeah, I heard that album once or whatever. Like, you kind of delve into all the records and the singles. And
start collecting things.
I mean, even today in the record store, we're in Tower Records, which is crazy because I used to work at Tower Records in Campbell. I always say Campbell because you know where that is, but like they have like a thing like this of just Iron Maiden. It has all their albums, and it has like Steve Harris's solo album, Bruce Dickinson's solo album. Like, I was like, this is why people are so thorough here. Like, it's just a whole thing, because that's always how I've been. You know, like if I like a band, I try to get a bunch of different stuff and, you know, different pressings of records and, you know, figure out what other bands they've been in and blah blah blah. It's like very obsessive and sort of nerdy, but it's just, So I think I can totally relate to that. I think it's awesome that people here, they seem really passionate, and they're not just like casual, like, I don't know, my friends are going to the show, I'm just whatever, it sounds cool. It's like people here really like give a shit, which is nice.
Well, to go to the show, it's really expensive. The tickets.
Yeah, it seems like a big commitment.
$60, $70 or something like that. So.
Wow. I usually am like, what, $18? That sounds like a lot. So I don't know, I never get
So that every show is very special for Japanese people.
Right.
And their favorite musician comes to Japan. Very special.
That's a big commitment, $70, Jesus.
So now let me ask you about the latest album, All That's No Glory, which was released last year, and I think it is a really great album.
Oh,
and no one would think it's been 6 years since the last album was released. So were you guys nervous or had any worries about writing new songs and making new albums after a long break?
You know, at first not really. I mean, it was kind of a weird situation. I was living in Hawaii at the time. Excuse me. So not only was I really far away from the other guys when I was writing, but I was totally far away from like any kind of like metal scene or whatever. Aside from a few friends of mine that we would like hang out, just drink beer, listen to records or whatever. So I didn't really put any thought into it, which was cool because once I moved back to California and then we kind of cemented like we're going to record at such and such time and this and that, then it kind of struck me like, so if this album does well, like, it could kind of go in the path where like I'm on the road and doing all this, and if it doesn't do that well, then we'll probably just play a couple festivals and then that'll be it. And I sort of think like, wow, that could be kind of significant, and it hadn't really dawned on me, but luckily we'd already written everything by then, so it didn't affect us at all. We always try to avoid those kind of lines of thinking, it's like we just write songs.
Not a lot of pressure to make a new album.
No, I mean, we always just try to write songs that we would like to listen to and hope that other people like them and do the best that we can. And I think if you start worrying about how it's going to affect you or what other people will think, then that's like a bad path to go down. If you're playing this kind of music, you should just do it for your own enjoyment.
Yourself,
right? And like it's all about connecting with other people that are into it and stuff. But I never think like, oh, what will people think of this riff or whatever. That's just sort of weird.
Well, I felt that the new album has a similar style with the last one, Anatomy of Destiny. So it's got a better sound production, more sophisticated arrangement, and very tight playing. So when Anatomy of Destiny was released at that time, did you have any influence from the sound of death thrash bands like Gates, Haunted, and stuff like that?
It's kind of weird. I mean, I sort of go in the opposite ways. Like when we were recording Anatomy, I was listening to a lot of like Power Violence and like Infest and like Crossed Out and stuff like that, because I was playing more intricate melodic stuff, so I didn't listen to it, you know what I mean? And then when I'm playing like more like straight up grind stuff or whatever, or writing that, then I'll listen to like, maybe like Human or Necrosis or records like that. But I'm always sort of like, if I'm doing something that I don't usually listen to that much of it or whatever, kind of go the opposite way. But I mean, I've been listening to metal since like, 87 or whatever, and so I don't know, it's all sort of internalized. I just think, oh hey, I'm really into this, now I'm going to do this. It's just sort of kind of part of the whole background of how I learned how to play. So just different things come out at different times or whatever. But I mean, also we spent a really long time playing like the really sort of noisy, like really grimy type death grind or whatever. And we never intended it to be that noisy or grimy. We just weren't good at our instruments. We gradually got better and it got cleaned up. And I think we used to have a lot of hang-ups about certain things, like, oh, I don't know if we put this like riff in there that sounds like Creator, maybe it's not grindcore enough. And now we just don't care. It's like, oh cool, here's a Creator style riff, here's like a Napalm Death riff, here's a fucking Metallica riff, like whatever. It all just kind of goes in together and comes out sounding like us. So.
Well, what I felt from the new album is that there's a super melodic guitar solos.
Right.
Yeah, very impressive and unique essence to the songs. So.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I mean, we're, we listen to all kinds of music and all kinds of metal, and I mean, like, in terms of solos, I mean, I'm way more into like Uli Roth or like, Richie Blackmore or something than, a death metal type solo or whatever. And I think that we just try to bring like a rock type sensibility to everything that we do. I mean, even the album cover for the last album is like a Kiss cover. It's not like a serious death metal cover at all.
So the next question is the band went on hiatus in 2005 and reunited in 2010. So could you tell me a little bit about it?
Yeah, I mean, I think like in 2005, I started the band with my high school friends in '91. So by 2005, it may have been like 15 years or whatever. It's a pretty long time for anything, whether it's like a marriage or a band or business or whatever. It's a long time to kind of be doing the same thing. And it was definitely the right time because I think I was really burnt out on just kind of like always having different members who've been going and always like, we just finished our record contract with Relapse, and it just kind of, after we did Anatomy and then everyone from that lineup aside from me ended up leaving the band, it was just kind of frustrating because it was like we worked a lot and kind of done some stuff, and then it just was like, well, felt like it was all kind of falling apart, and it just was getting, kind of frustrating, feeling like you're not making any progress or whatever. And I just turned 30 that year, and I think that's one of those like numerical, like, oh shit, what am I doing with my life kind of thing. Like people I went to high school with like own their own homes and have kids, and I'm still riding around in a van with like these other guys and whatever.
It sounds like me. I'm 36 years old now, and I'm not married, I don't have any kids. So.
Yeah.
I sometimes feel like what I'm doing. But.
I think it's only natural. I mean, if you're a person with any kind of like objective perspective on life, it's, it's kind of like, I just wanted to sort of see what else was out there, whatever I got, like a couple of like real type jobs, and, but I never stopped playing, and I did get burnt out on the death metal scene, especially back then, because it was really like slam death metal or like tech death metal, which, I mean, it's cool for people that are into it, it's just not what I'm into, and I just kind of felt like we didn't really fit in any particular niche. And of course, time goes by and then you get perspective on things, well, not fitting in is actually like pretty good. That's the best place to be, because then you're not like part of a trend or whatever. And then, you also learn to sort of appreciate the fun parts of it and the good parts about it, and not just be like, oh, I'm frustrated. And, now there's a lot less pressure on it, at least for me personally. I mean, even though the band's busier than it ever has been, but I used to put like these weird goals on it, like, oh, we need to do this, we should be doing that, and it's like, why? Who cares? Just do what we do, and fuck it.
So now I'd like to ask you about the stage performance. I never seen you guys live, but I've heard that you guys vomit on stage.
We used to. Our guitar.
Not anymore?
No, our guitar player Bud, who used to play bass for us back in the day, he used to throw up on stage every night. But
every night.
Yeah, I mean. And after a while, we just kind of got worried about his health. Like his teeth were looking pretty bad. And it's also really bad. Right. But also the muscle, there's like a sphincter valve or whatever, it was getting worn out. And it's really bad for your esophagus. So it just
bad for doing that.
It's not good for your health.
It's a good thing.
I mean, it's he did it for like a good 3 or 4 years. Every night on tour, and we even back then we started telling him like, I don't know, we're kind of concerned about you. And he's like, oh no, kids want to see it. I'm like, yeah, but dude, you need to be able to use your teeth and shit. We don't have dental insurance, so yeah.
In the United States,
No, we don't. So yeah, I mean, we do some things in the States, but unfortunately, we have another guy that we work with who's like our mascot or whatever, but we couldn't afford to bring him over for these shows. So while we're here, it's just going to be more like a regular metal show or whatever. But when we're at home, we're able to be a little bit more theatric just because you also can't bring a chainsaw on a plane and stuff like that. So it gets to be like such a logistical nightmare that it's better to just sort of just play the show straight, and then we don't spend the whole day running around trying to find, you know, props and this and that. So yeah, back in the day though, it used to be pretty bad. Like we'd have Bud like throwing up on people, and our old drummer used to like blow fire and stuff like that. And then after the Great White thing in America where they burned down the club and killed all those people, I don't know if you guys heard about it. This is years ago now, but yeah, then we couldn't blow fire anymore, and then like it just started creating so many problems. Like we would be throwing up and shit, and then the people would try to like not pay us and be like, oh, it costs $100 to clean this place. I'm like, dude, you threw up a garbage bag. We threw the garbage bag away, and it just got to be such a nightmare. So now we, you know, like I said, when we're in America, we have you know, we have a guy with a chainsaw, and we have some blood and stuff like that, but it's not as over the top as it used to be because we just can't get away with it as much.
Well, we have the same kind of troubles that almost all the venues we play at, and I use a lot of fake blood on stage. I pour a lot of blood on myself, and then I broke the microphone, and the floor was, you know, blood all over. And, yeah, that was one thing, and another one was I do the fire breathing, and when we played at Brutal Assault in Czech Republic, I burned the stage monitor because I was gonna blow it, but I poured the alcohol with the fire, and I burned it. But they didn't ask us to pay for that. We got a guarantee and everything, so there was no problem.
It's mostly in America where people try to screw you out of money. That's sort of what Americans do.
What's okay during the fire stuff back in 2008, we did a North American tour. Well, of course we didn't even ask, we just did it, but yeah, there was no problem.
That's cool. I mean, it just depends, and you know, like the first couple of tours that we did for the new record, we headlined, so we had a little bit more latitude, and then since then we've just been going out as a support band, so it's like you kind of, then it's not just your money that's going to get fucked away if something goes wrong. And Cannibal's really cool. They let us pretty much do whatever we want within reason, you know. But other bands sometimes are a little bit more concerned about it, or you know, certain venues, or you know, just so it's a fucking hassle. It's annoying. It's like I'd rather just come in like way back, like in the '90s, we used to use all like real blood and like animal guts and stuff like that, and we used to like. Our old bass player somehow he would do all these like horse bones somehow, so we'd have all these bones on stage and we're like smashing bones, and, like spitting out live worms on people and shit. And it would be like every place we played, it was like the first and last time we could ever play there. And within a year and a half, we were just banned from everywhere. So like, well,
yeah, I think that will happen to us in the future sometime.
Yeah, and then, this is before we got signed, so we didn't have like a booking agent or like a manager or a record label. They didn't have any kind of clout. We would just show up and just wreck shop, and people got pretty mad.
Now, well, I also have questions about Decapitator.
Oh shit, okay.
So you started out Decapitator in the middle of '90s, and triggered the thrash metal revival back then. In recent years, another movement of thrash metal revival is going on, I think. So, how do you feel about it as a pioneer?
I mean, you know, I don't know. All I know is that I wasn't into brutal death metal. Like I was into like punk style death metal, like Carcass and Entombed and stuff. Yeah. And so, like by the mid '90s, nobody played that anymore. So I just stopped listening to new death metal albums and. I got back into thrash just because I wasn't super into black metal. There's a few bands I liked, but not too many. So I just gravitated more towards like, you know, Possessed or Onslaught or Celtic Frost or whatever. And then we just would joke about like, oh, we should totally do it. And we can get all these like cheesy 80s clothes and stuff. It'd be awesome. And then we did it, and then like a few years later, I just saw these kids dressed like that, with puffy shoes and stuff, which I thought was pretty funny. I mean, I think it's great fucking music. Like, I still love it. It's what I grew up on. And at the same time, I mean, over the last few years, like, it's been kind of cool because it's sort of started to die down in the States. There used to be like 20 million like shitty thrash bands, and eventually it's gotten to the point now where only people that are really into it and are actually good at it are able to like keep going and get record deals and stuff. I mean, I think Municipal Waste is before all that too, and the same with Toxic Holocaust. I mean, but I love both those bands. I think all the records are great. We just did a tour in the States with Havoc from Colorado, and they're fucking awesome. So I mean, there's a few bands that stand out as like being pretty good, and a lot of it is just kind of cheesy and trendy, but it's cool. It's a trend I like, so it's like it doesn't really bother me so much. So yeah, I mean,
it's on hiatus.
you know, I wrote like half of a new record, and last time I was in San Jose, actually, because our drummer still he lives there, and I was like, yeah, we should rehearse these songs, and he's like, oh, no, I'm not really into that right now. I'm just kind of want to play like old school death metal. So, all right. So.
Is that drummer guy called Jones? Oh, is he a scientist?
I think he's technically a molecular biologist is his job, technically. Yeah. That's why he quit the band after Anatomy, is he finished his degree and then he got a really good paying job. Because there's a lot of like biotech industry in the Bay Area, so he works for a company called Genomic Health, and he does some sort of, he's explained it to me, and as he tells it to me I can understand it, but then I don't have a science background and I totally forget. So it's some sort of like cell cloning therapy, or it's a cancer treatment that involves cell cloning, and I don't know exactly what he does within it, but yeah, he's the total chemistry guy. That's his thing.
Well, I'm a scientist too. Yeah,
right, I saw a thing with you in decibels
really?
test tubes and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing physics.
Cool.
At the university, and it's kind of difficult to do both music and research at the same time, because my work is really busy all the time.
Sure.
It's like I have to work every day.
Right.
Until really late at night. So I'm like weekend musician. We just go on a tour during the weekend, a few festivals, and come back to Japan and go back to work.
But that's kind of cool, because I think like the beauty of that is that you never have to worry about like if your band doesn't sell enough records or whatever. All of a sudden you're playing a smaller club and they're giving you less money. It's like, well, yeah, I have a regular job. I don't give a shit. And so you never have to worry like if your record label's like, well, we want to sell more records. You guys should do this. But like, fuck you. I don't care.
Well, it's just, it's weird. I thought it was something like, or something even that.
So yeah, it's almost the end. So do you have any message to Japanese fans?
I would just say, thank you for the support. We're stoked to be back again, and hopefully it won't be 8 years before the next time. We're in the middle of recording a new album right now. We actually take a break from recording to come over and do these shows. So we should have a new record soon, and hopefully we can come back and do more shows and hang out.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, cheers. Right on.